Hi, my name is Nigel. I'm one of the leaders of the Chronological School of Biblical Studies here at YWAM LA, and I'm here to share a little message with you. So I was thinking about Moses the other day. I was thinking about Moses and his encounter with God at the burning bush that's recounted in Exodus chapter 3 and 4. At this time, the Israelites are in slavery. They're slaves in the nation of Egypt, and God has a plan to deliver them out of slavery because He has goals for them to be able to accomplish. He has a place for them, has a land, and wants to set them up as a nation to be able to reveal Himself to the nations around, to all of humanity. And Moses is the ideal guy for God's plan, to be able to walk it out, to be able to go back to Egypt, because he grew up in Egypt, he grew up in Pharaoh's court, but he was also of Israelite birth, so he's got the heart of an Israelite, but he's got the experience of being in Egyptian royalty and walking with the Egyptians, so he has access. So God wants to use him, he has a plan. But Moses is a little hesitant about what God's asking him to do. He has two major areas of concern. One is himself. He asks, well, who am I to walk into Pharaoh's court and demand these things? I don't even speak well. God addresses that right away and says, I will be with you. You're not going in by yourself. I'll be with you and I'll give you the words to say. The second area that Moses is worried about is, well, how do I convince these Israelite people that it's you who's sending me to do these things? And God tells him, tell them I am the God of their ancestors. I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And he also gives him miraculous powers to be able to prove to them that it's not just his idea that he's coming, but actually God's given him power and will use him in order to bring them out of slavery. So Moses wrestles with God about these concerns he has, but as God addresses them, Moses walks forward and does what God asks him to do. So why I was thinking about this was that I can relate to Moses and relate to those hesitancies. When I felt called into YWAM, into Youth with a Mission, I didn't feel like I was qualified to that role, to that calling, to that task that God was asking me to do, because I was very shy as a kid, and I had this picture of a missionary as being someone bold and confident, a street preacher, just never met a stranger, would go right up to people and be able to talk to them. And that wasn't me. So I had this, I kind of disqualified myself from the role that, even though I knew God had given me a calling to share who He was with people who didn't know Him, I kind of disqualified myself, but I knew God was calling me to do it. So what about you? What is God asking you to do that maybe you're disqualifying yourself from because you don't see your gifts, your abilities lining up with what you think He's asking you to do? In my life, I've been in YWAM now for over 25 years. And from that first initial hesitancy and doubt, I've seen God faithfully meet me on my journey, use me to talk to people. And I'm still not the most outgoing street evangelist you'd ever meet, but I've seen God use my gifts and who He's made me to be to impact His kingdom. So my encouragement to you is, whatever He's asking you to do, when you know that that's passion, that desire He's placed on your heart to be His instrument in this world, trust Him. walk forwards in faith, and he'll be there, just like he was there for Moses, and Moses fulfilled the task that God asked him to do. He'll be there for you too. He'll provide, he'll take care of you, he'll guide you. When you don't know what to do, he'll help. So trust him and walk forwards with what he's asking you to do, is my encouragement to you from this little scene in Exodus 3 and 4 of Moses and God talking at the burning bush.